Hi, my name is Katie Shanahan.
Hi, I'm Sharon Berenberger,
I'm Michael Heisel, and I'm a resident assistant at JST.
PM in Courtyard.
the senior peer mentor for JST.
I was motivated to apply as a PM for two big reasons. One, I'm going to be a high school history teacher, so it made sense for me to do a position that was related to kind of the academic end of what it means to be a first year student. And the other part for me too is my family is really demanding of my time, so I knew I couldn't be an RA and like be on call for weekends or during holidays and stuff.
I would definitely have to say just kind of the interaction aspect of it. I'm a huge people person, so I just love interacting with people. Uh, and I kind of like to be there for people. JST is primarily like a freshman air environment, so a lot of people are kind of scared, unsure of what to do. So it's nice to be like, hey, everything's gonna be okay. Like, don't worry about it.
My older brother was a peer mentor here for 3 years, and then so a lot of his friends were still here when I was here my first year, and so my RA really got me involved with a lot of stuff, and so kind of going into housing kind of was like a natural transition to that.
I would kind of have to say maybe things that you're not exactly prepared for, maybe things that are a little heavier than you would imagine.
Learning to accept that sometimes you are not going to get to a student. There's just going to be a student who is going to ghost on you. They're going to want to do not have nothing to do with you, and or you really just cannot help them. There's no way you can solve what's happening.
I think being able to communicate with residents on difficult things, I think it's interesting trying to get residents to open up personally and talk about things. And so then when you have those difficult conversations, having to bridge that gap can be really difficult. And then especially in an academic way too, because I don't think most people are used to talking about that. I mean, most people aren't used to talking about personal issues, but even academic personal issues kind of goes farther than that.
And for me, as someone who wants to be an educator, I feel like I had to try and do everything I could, and it was just at this point where it's like, I have to stop. There's nothing I can do to help you anymore. So it was really tough to like accept that, and that's not to say give up on your resident after 2 tries, but understand you won't get everyone.
I remember my first year, I had to deal with like a self-harm incident, and that was a little rough. But it's a good experience to have, and it's just like it's kind of just being thrown in the fire. Like it's kind of like your first job. You never know what you're going to experience. Like something you may not be prepared to handle, but it's good to kind of have that trial by fire.
The ability to support someone on their own terms. So it is not coming in and being a tutor and trying to wave your little wand and fix everything. It is providing the support that the person requests.
Giving someone the ability to do something that you're doing when you're not there.
Helping someone achieve their optimum potential and guiding them and helping them help themselves.
Because if you try to force what you think should be happening, you're not helping them. You are being much more than they need. A mentor is someone who supports you in the way that you ask.
Everything's gonna be okay. Like, because when I was going into it, I had panicked like really hardcore, and so I was like really worried that no one's gonna like me, I'm not gonna do very well, it's not gonna go well. It's like all these things are just like it's not gonna work out, and so yeah, obviously I'm here still, so and like everything's turned out pretty good. So I think
I would definitely say don't procrastinate at all. But I'd probably procrastinate writing the letter anyway, so it probably wouldn't even get to me in time. Probably get to me like my sophomore year. But I would definitely say don't procrastinate and just make sure you plan your time better, or else, and if you do that, you'll get a lot more sleep.
It's okay. Not everything is going to go off perfect, and do not feel like you have to try and compensate. I had an RA who wasn't very involved on the hall, so I felt like I had to compensate for the fact that they didn't have an RA. And I would write to myself and say, don't do that. You're taking 18 credit hours. Do you more than worrying about trying to compensate. You are going to want to pound your head against the wall because they're going to do something, and you have to understand that, and you are in the same boat as them too. you may be in the position of power, but very few of us know what we're actually doing. Like we can think through the thing that we're doing, and our brains are at that point where we can make all these choices and do all these things, but we don't always make the most logical choice. Just because that's what we're doing right now, and that's how our brains function, and that's what it's like to be 18 or something. So you're gonna want to pound your head against the wall. They're gonna do things, and you're gonna be like, "Why did you do that?" It's okay. Eventually, everything will settle down, and you will find a way.
Mentoring is a really big part of what you're doing. Residents really appreciate it, even though if they don't show it initially. There are those residents that really understand and really appreciate your role as a mentor, and I think mentoring is the big part of what we do because it's helping guide and helping students become empowered to become independent and just better leaders on campus.
I think they should know how to put themselves kind of back to where they needed to be mentored and kind of knowing what they needed at the time, because it's easy to be like, we just went through however many days of training in fall. They should know this already. Or, like I told them this however many times and they're still not getting it or something like that. You kind of just have to be able to put yourself back into, your first year or your second year even, and remember just how nervous you were or how many things they threw at us. Because, by now for us, like us third years, like this is, it's like a cakewalk for all this stuff. Like, oh, I know how to do that, or oh, that door's always like that. We like, that door's always been like that creaky. Like, don't worry about it, or something like that. Like, you just have to remember that, they're not as experienced as you, so they might need a little more explanation on certain things.
The people I work with, both residents and staff, they're just like the really greatest people you ever meet.
I have some of my best friends on staff, and just kind of like the interaction aspect of it. I still have residents from like my first year that still talk to me, and they're like, "Hey, like this is what I'm doing. It's really cool," or like, "Thanks for directing me to this," or it was really cool to like get to know you, and this like it opened up so many opportunities for me, or just being friends with them.
It's really fun, and yeah, they really keep you going, keep you motivated, and just really kind of ground you in like really great people that you can stay connected with even after like I graduate.
I could do more, and I knew I had more to give, and I was assigned to the gender neutral floor, so I really wanted to come back and to start the first year of us having this special interest area, this SIA, to give it a good footing and to try to advocate for what these students need in housing and to also have that chance. And I do wish I could come back. I just am like graduating, so I can't come back.
So one of my fellow resident assistants didn't know how to use one of the equipment that we use.
My role right now, I've helped mentor our staff, at least because our peer mentors, 80% of them are new, and so I think they really needed that guidance and help into the position. And with all my experience and stuff, I really wanted to help them, and they're all really brilliant people to start with, and so helping them realize that and helping them feel appreciated in that way, I think, has been my mentoring role.
I've had two residents, and they lived directly across the hall from me, so already I knew that they were going to just bother me 24/7. My first year, and a number of my friends call them my ducklings because they will follow behind me even now. They will just start walking behind me to spook me. And one of them, Nick, he kind of came in, and he's an ROTC, so he's like, I know I want to sign. I don't really know what I want to study, so I'm just going to like take like biology or something. Like that'll be it. And over the past year, he's just come in and he's just talked to me because he doesn't really know what he wants to do, and I haven't been like, oh, you should be this, that, or the other thing. I've just been like, well, what do you not want to be? And that's kind of where we've gone through our journey of just playing the game of what does he not want to do. And when he thinks like, oh, I might like to do that, I've been trying to help him find people and places that can do it. He settled on teaching of history, so like score 1 for me. I got another person for my major. But I didn't necessarily force him into that, and I have been able to kind of just give him like the bumpers to just like bounce off back and forth across the lane until he landed where he kind of wanted to be. So it's been fun.
His first call in the second semester, and it was the laundry room flooding, and so it's not he knew how to use the wet vac, but there was like an issue with it. I think it was the new ones we got too, so we were used to doing all these unnecessary things that we didn't need to do, and so I just happened to be with him when he was on that call, and I taught him a few tips and tricks of the wet vac, of the newer wet vac, because I had to use it. I had to use it I think it was, or no, it was for a cluster. So I had to use it for a cluster, and he needed it for the laundry room. So I just taught him how to use it. And hopefully he'll take that with him and teach other RAs how to use our new wet vacs.
I'd say the person who's helped me the most is my godmother, and she is my mom's only sister and her youngest sibling. And she will answer anything I ask her. And my grandmother just moved into an assisted living home, and so my mom was not telling me anything of what was happening because she didn't want me to stress at school, so I knew I could call my aunt, and she would tell me what is happening because it stresses me out more not to know. So she gave me what I asked. She didn't give me more. She didn't try to like help me get involved or something. She just told me what I was asking of her, and she has been very fearless in giving me her straight opinion because she knows that that's what I value. Whereas if she were to be with another person, she might not give her total opinion because that's what they need. So
Probably their tact and how they mentored me, because they always just seem to pick up when I'm not sure of something, or if I need more explanation, or maybe something simpler to like do one step first and then do what my goal is. So I would have to say probably, I guess, just knowing how to mentor me, I guess, is the best way to put it. Like knowing like, okay, like he may need steps to get up to this, or he may need more elaboration on this, or oh, he's not very good in this area, I'm going to need to pay a little more attention to this for him.
Encouraging and inspiring me to help myself rather than just like providing that assistance and support whenever I need it, but just like basically empowering me to help myself.
They need to be more vocal advocates for us now more than ever.
Don't be scared, and you already have the skills to be mentors, and you already have the potential to be mentors. It's just like, don't overthink it, and just don't try to parent people. Just try to, be the mentor that you would want as a younger staff member. Treat them as you would want to be treated as a younger staff member, I'd say.
Try to find a sense of humor, I would say. People are going to be looking to you for stuff. You might feel stressed that, you're put in this position, and you may not even, you may not have expected it. You may not even have wanted to be in that position, but surprise, you're a third year. Everyone's going to be looking to you for advice. So, have a sense of humor. Try and just be, as lighthearted as you can. You're going to have a nervous staff looking up to you for advice. So, if you're calm, they'll be calm. If you're not calm, they're not going to be calm. So you just, try to have a sense of humor with things, and don't take things too seriously, or else the job will eat you alive. You should know that by it's the third year. You'll know. I think you're equipped with what you need to know by now.
Back up. Bye. Thank you. It's been fun. Don't make the mistakes I did. Don't try to be a ramp, an RA, and a PM at the same time. Don't do it. It's bad. You gotta have fun. It's always really long. Be smart.